to raise standards for yourself and for those around you. On our hall, excellence was contagious. I remember one night I used to pull matter on MFS in the comments of one Dwight Reed. Two of my study P's, UFO and Wash. Wash being David Rose, a Jamaican, and UFO being Sean Samuels, an Antiguan. And Sean UFO lived in Dwight's house. So and Wash lived on GFS. So I had the fortunate position of being responsible for blessing the South by coming over from the great Florida North to pull matter on MFA. But I remember one night, during a matter break, Bert came out of his yard and we were talking, and him being a little bit older than me and a little bit more experienced, said something to me. He probably don't even remember saying it, but he said something that I remember to this day. He said, when you go into your workplace, when we finish all of this and go to work, and you presenting your work to your boss, whoever your boss is, don't just present your work. Do it with style. Do it with flair that they will remember that you present this, regardless of how young you might be at the time. Present your work in a matter of excellence. Now, being a young, I think must have been 19 or 20 at the time. For whatever reason, that stuck with me. Don't ask me what matter we were pulling that in because I don't even remember. It might have been foundations, it might have been struck, I don't know. But I remember that and it stuck with me. Excellence on the hall was contagious. We celebrated achievements, whether it was the fact that a young Jamaican could somehow engineer a backdrop at a concert to unfold and light up and move, or hearing literally the voice of an absolute angel coming from a mammoth being in Andrew Simon singing Boys to Men better than the original. We celebrated that like if we did it. But even in celebrating achievement and celebrating each other, we challenged one another. We never accepted because you say this, that's the way it was. No. You got to defend your position regardless of what the position was you were putting forward. We challenged one another. And so moving from that point to working life, two things became instilled in my psyche. One, don't accept anything anybody tell you because they may have a title or because they may have come from better circumstances than you. Challenge them. And also, it's okay to be challenged. So even now, as I lead the organization, I readily ask my team to challenge what I'm saying. The other point, of course, that we encourage one another. We encourage one another to keep going. But in all of this focus on excellence, we understood that success was never accidental. You don't stumble into access. It required discipline. It required sacrifice and perseverance. It's the reason why after a full day of classes, landing the Beijing board, I would spend 3 to 4 hours in the common room rehearsing for a move that would literally take 30 seconds on stage for the disco dance in the concert. All night. Night by night by night for literally less than 4 minutes on stage. Hours. That's discipline, that's sacrifice, that's commitment, and that's perseverance. And the hall demanded nothing less from us. And so those values accompany me throughout my professional journey. And today, leading the Caribbean Development Bank, I often remind our teams that excellence is not something we do occasionally. It's a culture. It's reflecting in how we serve our communities, how we respond to crises, how we innovate, and how we pursue our mission of transforming lives across our region. Because our Caribbean people deserve institutions that aspire to excellence. They deserve leaders who understand that good enough is rarely enough. And I believe that commitment to excellence so deeply embedded within the culture of the hall has been one of the greatest gifts it gave to us. And the other, and perhaps most powerful lesson I might add is that no one succeeds alone and no one should be left behind. That spirit defined our brotherhood. And that is undergirded by an understanding that no one is above accountability. Whether you're supposed to, regardless of how many classes you had, how hard the matter is to pull, if you're supposed to land the boat on Tuesday, land the boat. There is no trying to reason with why you didn't land the boat. Land the boat. If you're supposed to pull down this part of the course and drop it on your other courses, you make sure and pull that down. That is accountability. That was an unwritten understanding. That philosophy has stayed with me throughout my entire life. It captures something deeply Caribbean, though. And I want you to go with me on this one. This Caribbean region we live in, our societies have understood the power of community for a very, very long time. We know what it means to rally around one another. We know what it means to carry each other through difficult times. We know what it means to share burdens and celebrate victories. That spirit has sustained our region through hurricanes, financial crises, pandemics, and countless challenges. And it remains one of our greatest strengths. That philosophy guides the work of CDB every day. Development is not about leaving some countries behind while others advance. It's not about creating islands of prosperity surrounded by oceans of exclusion. True development is inclusive, and that is what the hall was about. You see, a lot of people preach inclusivity without knowing who actually is being excluded. You can't preach inclusivity while you don't know who actually being excluded, because then how can you reach them? On the hall, we knew who needed more support. And we didn't broadcast it, we just helped them. Whether it was in discourse, financially, with respect to just getting something to eat. True development is inclusive. That's the Hermitage. It's about ensuring that opportunities reach everyone. It don't matter if you came from the heights of Maraval or if you came from Waterhouse. It don't matter if you came from the back of Castries or from Macville St. Michael like me. Growth benefits all because development, like brotherhood, means lifting each other up.